Hello guys, Chris here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing a GeForce RTX 4070 Ti in Atomic Heart. This one is the Palit Gamerock Midnight Kaleidoscope version of the card. We are running it with the latest Nvidia drivers as usual, and I am not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power Ups GPU Z. Resizable bar is enabled, and over on the left, we're pairing it with an i5-13600K at 5.6 GHz and 32 GB of DDR5 RAM at 6000 MHz. Let's get into it, shall we? All right, guys. First of all, we should go over the settings, right? Yeah, let's do that. So we're starting at 4K resolution with a 300 FPS cap because you can't really unlock it, but you know, it doesn't matter. It's like it is unlocked, I guess. Over in the quality tab, we're using the maximum settings, which is the atomic preset without motion blur. That's the only thing I changed here. Everything else is maxed out basically, and yeah, it's running all right. As you can see, I've actually played for about 3.5 hours already, but I played in like an underground area first. Oh no, oh, it saw me. Okay, I think there are gonna be a ton of robots coming to kill me now. Yeah, let's try this thing as well. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so far the game has been underground, always above 60 frames per second, and now that I got outside, I finally feel comfortable testing it here. It's getting around 60 frames per second. It's around the same as the introduction of the game, by the way. What the hell? Just, what is this? Oh, more robots, of course. Okay, let's just destroy these. What I found interesting about this game, by the way, is that it doesn't really stutter too much, and it is based on the Unreal 4 engine. It also looks really good in some areas, and in other areas it kind of doesn't, but, you know, it is what it is. Overall, I think, especially in the outside environments, it looks really nice. Now, as we are getting near 60 frames per second at the moment, that frame time is not as smooth as the past 3 hours have been. And it's actually dropping a little bit from 60 FPS as well. So I wish we could have a very buttery smooth experience all of the time, but it seems like it is not possible once you go outside. Yeah, that frame time graph is not smooth whatsoever anymore. Initially, I thought this was a really well optimized title, and you know, it still is. Kind of. Also, you can sprint in this game, which is kind of weird. But you will see a few stutters here and there. It's not going to be major stutters like in Hogwarts Legacy, for example. So there's that. It's definitely playable and enjoyable still. But they could work a little bit on that. I'm not sure if they could improve anything, though, because it is the engine's fault at this point, I think. All of the Unreal 4 engine titles kind of stutter a bit, you know? Oh my goodness, I don't even know what I'm doing. Also, there is no FOV slider, which I find very irritating. I kind of got a little bit of a headache already, just because I've played the last 3 hours with this, like, 7 FOV or whatever it is. But hey, it is what it is. What the heck? Oh boy, what is happening? I don't even see where it is shooting me from because of the FOV being so small. Anyway, let's go. If you're not really prone to FOV problems, I guess, and motion sickness and stuff like that, it's gonna be fine. And there is the possibility that they will add it with like a day one patch or something, because they have actually introduced during the review progress of the game and the press release version, I guess, the DLSS 3 support, which wasn't really here like a week ago or so, and yeah, they have been updated the game with a lot of new stuff, so maybe an FOV slider is actually coming, and that would be really great and handy in this one. What the hell is that gonna do? Okay, there's another camera right there. I just noticed. See, the FOV is a major deal. Please fix that, developers. All right, thank you. I'm getting a bit distracted killing some of the robots and talking to you guys about those things, but we need to talk about those things, you know, FOV sliders, a little bit of stuttering. Yeah, it's important, of course. Let's go grab this. Oh boy. Yeah, but for a new title to be running like this, it's actually quite nice. It's a bit of a change from the usual, you know, because it's not as stuttery as 99% of the games that I've seen so far, and for the first 3 hours, it's actually hard to find any stuttering issues whatsoever. It's only when you get outside that it will happen every now and again. But yeah, I like the performance overall for sure. And the 4070 Ti can play the game absolutely fine at 4K with a few drops here and there from 60 FPS, almost a 69 FPS average, by the way. But yeah, that can be definitely improved with some DLSS. That's what I'm gonna do right now. We got DLSS Super Resolution as well as DLSS Frame Generation in this game, so we're gonna test both. And I'm gonna set this to quality, which should be enough for us to get 60 plus all of the time without the need to go to DLSS Frame Generation yet. Yeah, look at that. 90s, we were getting like 72 over here, now we're getting 102, so a 30 FPS improvement is definitely very welcomed. Also, I'm playing this on a 42-inch monitor, which is, yeah, huge, so the FOV is even worse to me than if you're watching this on like a small monitor. For example, my capture card right there, which is running on a 25-inch monitor. Yeah, it looks way better and way less headache-inducing like that, but I like to test it on a 42-inch monitor so I can see all of those little details that you lose by enabling DLSS or not. In this case, it's actually really similar to what we saw at native resolution. Slightly softer, but very slightly softer. I would still say, if I didn't know, that this was a native resolution experience anyways, with quality DLSS at 4K. And now we are well above 60 frames per second at all times. Even the 1% lows are above 60 with those tiny little spikes in the frame time graph, which, again, aren't really that noticeable. Anyway, let's keep on going here. I was supposed to climb up there. Wait, this was not the way, right? Yeah, okay, this is the way now. Oh my god, so many robots around. Oh, I actually need to heal myself a bit. Okay, there we go. Can we climb this? Can we please climb it? Oh no, okay, this is an elevator. Good stuff. Let's just shoot those things. Yeah, this is like my taser gun, which is nice against robots. Alright, we're finally up here, and this is kind of reminding me of like a Far Cry world or something. Very interesting. You know what, guys? This is one of the best optimized Unreal 4 engine titles, and the developers haven't made any other game before this one. This is their first game, so round of applause for the devs, because they're working with a flawed engine that stutters with any game, and it's their first game, and they managed to do a much better job than, for example, the developers of Hogwarts Legacy. That is really impressive, and the game also looks really nice. Some of the textures aren't really that impressive. You'll come across a few pretty weird-looking textures, you know, I would say. But yeah, overall, it is pretty damn good looking, especially around foliage and vegetation. That lighting is looking great, the ambient occlusion as well. It has no ray tracing, so there's that. It's not like super intensive, and you can see that even at 4K resolution, it's not utilizing a ton of VRAM or RAM, which is very impressive. Look at those textures. Not too bad, yeah? I mean, I've seen better textures for sure, but overall, it looks great. Okay, hello there to you too. Are we gonna die or something? Oh boy. Let me go, let me go. Also, I disabled the dialogue because they're always talking, like my hand is talking to me usually. Oh my. Oh, that is insane. Some really good looking effects here. Yeah. Look at that, 200 frames per second now. Crazy stuff. It's just not intensive whatsoever what's happening, yeah? Which is great. Fire effects aren't intensive, and the vegetation is not intensive in this game either. Alright, so I guess that's it for DLSS on quality. Really good stuff. This is how I'd play this game if I had the 4070 Ti as my main GPU and the 4K monitor. So let's enable DLSS frame generation now. Some of the changes require a restart. Okay, so we need to restart for frame generation to apply in this one. This is with frame generation enabled. We didn't gain a ton of FPS, unfortunately. Pretty weird, actually. We were getting like near 90 frames. Now we're at 104. Honestly, I was expecting a bigger difference. As you can see, it is enabled right here. We just restarted the game. You can actually tell that it is enabled by that frame time graph. It's not like a little line. It's slightly thicker than a little line there. Yeah, especially right now, you can clearly tell that. Usually, in a lot of games that I tested with the DLSS frame generation, the frame time is very similar to this. I'm going to start counting the FPS right away. I can notice some things aren't really as detailed as previously, like those lines over there, they look a bit aliased with frame generation, especially right there, look at that. Yeah, that... Yeah. I mean, I would probably not enable it in this game, honestly, unless we did get a huge improvement in FPS. For like a 15 to 20 FPS improvement, I think it's not worth it, unless it actually smooths it out a lot. I've seen in a couple of games that used to stutter without the DLSS frame generation, they actually became really, really smooth with it enabled. So, in terms of the smoothness factor, if it improves it a bit here, I would enable it, but you also get a little bit of input lag at the same time, and you don't get any input lag penalty whenever you are using the DLSS quality instead of DLSS quality plus frame generation. But, you know, it still feels alright. It's a first-person shooter, though, so you might want that snappiness, that extra snappiness that comes without FG enabled. But, yeah, I mean, I can still shoot things absolutely fine. It wouldn't really bother me, the slight increase in input lag. Oh boy, we have no power in this weapon anymore. Oh, they're repairing things. Stop it! Stop it! You piece of crap! Go away! Oh boy, man, the FOV is killing my experience at the moment a little bit. Why did they decide to give it like 7 FOV? I think it's because of the consoles probably, but you know, on PC you want the FOV slider. It's very important in my opinion. Alright, yeah, those little spikes in the frame time graph will still happen every now and again, so the frame generation doesn't really get rid of the stutter completely. But, you know, it's just as smooth as before. I would probably just disable it in this one. Okay, now I restarted the game. We're playing at 1440p resolution using the same highest settings without DLSS or frame generation enabled. And at native 1440p, things are looking a bit over-sharpened actually. It's probably because of this image sharpening setting. Let's just set it to... Whoa. Okay, 0.5. That should look a little bit better. Yeah, okay, that's a bit better, yeah. Alright, let's start counting the FPS. We're getting right around 100 frames per second, and Nvidia actually recommends the 4070 Ti, or aims the 4070 Ti at 1440p high refresh rate gaming. And in this game, as you can see, it is sort of getting that, right? 100 plus FPS on average right now. Even if you have a 144Hz monitor, it will feel really, really smooth compared to a 60Hz or 60 FPS experience. For the first 3 hours of the game, what is happening? Oh my, okay, yeah, more reinforcements are coming. But yeah, for the first 3 hours of the game, you are gonna see way higher performance than what we're seeing right here, as I told you. Okay, we should move on. There are a lot of robots around here. I don't like that. Yep, look at them. Look at them, bastards! Stop it! Stop it! Yeah, I don't really like the fact that you can't sprint in this game. It's pretty weird. Maybe you can and I'm just missing something and being stupid. Yeah, let's take a look at those little things right there. Ooh. I don't really see them as well here at 1440p. That's to be expected, of course, but they kind of looked better using frame generation at 4K. Which is to be expected, I guess. Right, let's continue with the mission now. We're having a bit of a cutscene right here, and it is dropping our FPS by a lot. Yep, 70s. Interesting. What the heck is that? I thought this game was all about robots and stuff. Alright, cutscene is over, we're back out here, and I guess we should try it with some DLSS. Like, this is gonna be buttery smooth either way, but I just want to see how it looks at 1440p, and there we go. We gain about like 25 frames per second. Oh my god, look at that! 160s, 150s, and it's looking really similar to native 1440p once again. Like, ooh, maybe when the robots are moving, you can see a little noisy trail or something. No, I can't notice it anymore. Maybe because he was far away from us. Okay, let's continue here. 140 FPS almost on average. That is pretty insane, guys. And now they're talking over me, kind of. And it's a bit annoying. Yeah, this looks pretty damn good. And I think, even though it was already buttery smooth at 1440p, well above 60 FPS all of the time, I think I would still play with DLSS in this one. Just because it makes things even smoother and more high refresh rate, and you're likely gonna have a 144Hz monitor or something. So yeah, you will want that smoother experience, I guess. Yeah, this is just awesome right now. What the heck? They're shooting lasers at us. This is terrible. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Stop that. Okay, thank you very much. That was the camera. How do I get there? How do I get there? Let's go. Let's go. There we go. Yeah, those textures over here, those are not really that high quality. But I mean, it's fine. That means that you can actually play the game even with an 8GB card maxed out, like the 3070, 3070 Ti. And yeah, it's going to be fine. VRAM usage is well below 8GB. Well, not well below, but it is always below 8GB, I guess, at 1440p. And it was close to that at the 4K res. So yeah, 10GB cards like the 3080 can definitely play this game at 4K, no issues. Oh, some water effects. I have not seen those yet, at least running water like this over here. That smoke, it's not really looking that impressive, honestly. Doesn't look very good for sure. It's kind of blocky, N64-like. Oh, hello there, little things. Can I kill them with this gun? I actually haven't tried. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Stop doing that to me. But yeah, in some aspects, the game doesn't really look all that impressive, as I told you. Overall, it's still beautiful, though. Now, at 1440p is where I think frame generation will give us that huge boost in performance. Here we go. 2560 by 1440. We're actually reaching the 300 FPS cap over here, using the same settings with quality DLSS and frame generation. All right, look at this. 180s. Oh, this is really, really high FPS right now. And since the FPS are so high this time around, you can't really feel the difference in input lag. There is probably a reduction, but it's just negligible completely. And again, this is a single player title, not a competitive one, so it doesn't really matter here. Frame generation at 1440p, by the way, is looking pretty good. Slightly softer again than quality DLSS, but on like a 27-inch 1440p monitor, I think it will look insane still. So if you're running something like that, maybe enable it to have that smoother experience, but it was already buttery smooth, aside from those couple of stutters here and there with quality DLSS. And over here, it's actually dropping to the point where DLSS quality was without FG, right? I like that sound. Whenever you finish looting things, it kind of looks like the robot just ate. There's also a lot of dismembering in this game, by the way, not only in the robots, alright, like that. You can do that to people and dead bodies everywhere, which is interesting. Alright, once again, I think I would choose to play at 1440p quality DLSS. It looks really similar to native resolution. FG is noticeably softer, not to the point where it's not enjoyable or it doesn't look good, just to the point where it looks like you're using some bad TAA anti-aliasing on top of the native resolution. Okay, now I just changed it to 1080p resolution. I wouldn't buy a 40 series card for 1080p gaming, by the way, especially with frame generation enabled and DLSS quality, but yeah, just curious to see it at this res for a little bit. It gets 200 plus FPS. That's kind of insane, but at this resolution, it starts looking pretty soft. So I definitely wouldn't do this, guys. Let's fight some freaking robots. I really want to craft some ammo. Yeah, we need to find one of those crates where we can craft ammo. Oh boy. Can we get up to like 300 frames per second inside? 300 is the maximum, remember that. Maybe looking at the sky we can. Yep, 300 FPS lock there. It is indeed an insane experience like this, and usually this card at 1080p is very similar to the 4090 at 1440p, and this card at 1440p is very similar to the 4090 at 4K. So it's interesting if the 4090 can actually achieve these kinds of frames at 1440p resolution, although I would only buy a 4090 for 4K gaming. Freaking robots follow me everywhere! Stop! Leave me alone! Oh, this one also has a little bit of a weapon. Yep, okay, that's right. No. There we go. Great. Alright, we're good. Finally, 1080p, native resolution, and no DLSS. Let's go. Here we are. Native 1080p gives us 100 plus FPS basically all of the time. It's going to be a high refresh rate experience always, basically. Still drops from like 144, so it's not capped to 144 all of the time if you want that experience, you know. But yeah, again, single-player title doesn't really require all of those frames, and if you do require it for some reason, you can always enable some DLSS or play at lower settings. Actually dropping quite a lot now. Look at that, 100-ish frames per second. I did not expect that. I did not expect it to drop that far. Wow, that's crazy. Oh boy, what the hell? It was probably the robots, right? Trying to cook things. Oh, we got some fish here. Interesting stuff. What? Shut up. I don't care. Yeah, we can move through these things. Very interesting. Oh, we can go up there to the rooftop. Let's go. I want to do that. Yep, there we go. Nice stuff. We can now look at the map from here, down into the 130s at times. It is good. Obviously, it's 1080p resolution with a 4070 Ti. Not a lot of people are going to play like this unless a few years from now, I guess. But now let's try some DLSS on quality for a last setting of the video. And it didn't do much. Well, maybe it was just loading. No, it's still dropping into the 140s. No, it did actually do a lot. Instead of dropping into the 130s here, it drops into like the 150s, 140s at times. And it honestly looks almost the same, just a bit softer. It doesn't have that over-sharpened look anymore, but it kind of looks like any other game at 1080p resolution, aside from Hogwarts Legacy that looks like crap at native resolution, honestly. It looks really, really soft, that game. But yeah, that's been it, guys. In terms of CPU bottlenecks, I have seen none here with 13600K, to be expected, but there are a lot of not optimized titles these days that are actually CPU bound, like Hogwarts Legacy, even with the 13600K overclocked in the 4070 Ti. So I'm glad to see that at least this game doesn't have any performance issues related to CPU. But overall, the game runs quite well, and I really, really enjoyed my time with it here with the 4070 Ti. Let's move on to another GPU testing, and I'll see you guys very, very soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Let me know what resolution you're playing on with the 4070 Ti as well in the comments, so I know what to focus more into the next videos in this card. And that's been it. Thanks for watching. Love you all. Bye-bye.